The story begins in a secluded house, far from any crowds, surrounded by dense forest. Robert lives there with his two daughters, Eva and Nell. As the older child, Eva looks serious preparing for a dance competition, while Nell spends more time in front of the computer. Everything goes as usual until one night, the power suddenly goes out. Not only that, the communication network also disappears. For no clear reason, their house is instantly plunged into darkness. At first, they think it's just a normal outage that will be fixed soon. Not long after, Nell goes out to get a flashlight from the car. But without realizing it, the car door Nell closes isn't fully shut and ends up opening again. The next day, as they're getting ready to go to town to buy supplies, they're shocked to see the condition of the car. Not only is the door open, but the fuel is also completely gone. From that point, they start suspecting that someone has taken their gasoline. Robert tries to fix the car, but it doesn't work.
What is spam?
That night, things become even more uncertain when the radio they usually use also stops working. They are completely isolated with no information from the outside. Days pass, but the electricity still doesn't come back. On the 10th day, Robert finally finds a way to get the car working again. He modifies the vehicle with the help of a chainsaw engine. Thanks to that, they're finally able to go to town after being stuck at home for so long. However, when they arrive in town, the situation is far more worrying. Many stores are already empty and food supplies are almost gone. The situation outside is worse than they imagined. Even so, Robert still manages to buy a little gasoline and some necessities from a store that still has stock. After finishing what they need to do, the three of them split up for a while. Eva goes to campus to continue her practice, while Nell meets his girlfriend. At night, Robert goes back to pick them up and brings both of his children home.
It's nice meeting you, Nelson.
On the way home, the atmosphere feels uneasy as they start to realize that the world isn't okay. The next morning at breakfast, Robert makes an important decision. He suggests that they shouldn't go to town for the time being. According to him, the house is the safest place, especially since their supplies are still enough. They finally agree to stay. From then on, they go back to their own routines. Eva keeps practicing dance inside the house. Nell stays busy with his own activities, while Robert spends time outside cutting down trees around the forest. The sound of the chainsaw becomes part of their daily life. But one day, everything changes. Suddenly, a loud scream is heard from the direction of the forest. Eva and Nell immediately run there, in panic. When they get there, they find Robert in very bad condition. His leg is injured from the chainsaw, and the blood keeps flowing. He's already in critical condition. In that situation, Robert realizes he can't be saved. Eva and Nell can only cry while begging their father to hold on. But in the end, Robert dies in front of them, leaving his two children alone in the middle of an uncertain situation. Heartbroken, they bury their father around the forest. From that moment on, their lives completely change. Day by day, they live with a sense of loss. Time keeps passing, but things don't get better. The electricity still doesn't come back, and everything around them feels even quieter. Eva tries to hold on by continuing to practice, relying only on a metronome instead of music. But over time, her motivation starts to fade. One day, Eva tries to use gasoline to power a generator. But Nell immediately stops her. According to him, the gasoline is very valuable and must be saved for emergencies. That difference of opinion eventually leads to an argument. Eva feels unheard, while Nell tries to think realistically for their safety. After that, Eva chooses to stay alone in her room, while Nell tries to handle all the household needs by himself. Their problems aren't over. One day, the livestock they keep suddenly disappear, likely taken by people they don't know. That incident makes Nell even more stressed, causing him to have frequent nightmares. Seeing his sister's condition, Eva finally softens, and they make peace again. Slowly, they begin to adapt to life without electricity. At night, they only have candlelight, but at least they still have each other. But that sense of safety doesn't last long. One night, they hear a suspicious sound from the front door, like someone is trying to get in. Nell immediately stays alert and grabs their father's weapon, while Eva stands behind him in fear. When the door is opened, it turns out to be Eli, Nell's boyfriend, carrying a bag of food. His arrival brings a bit of relief to the previously quiet atmosphere. From that moment on, their lives slowly begin to change. They start eating together, sharing stories, and feeling warmth again, like a small family. In the end, Nell chooses to leave with Eli. He leaves Eva alone in the house in the middle of the forest, in a situation full of uncertainty. After they leave, Eva goes back to her routine, practicing dance to distract herself from the growing loneliness. On the other hand, during the journey, Nell starts to feel uneasy. He keeps thinking about Eva being left alone. The guilt gets stronger, until he finally decides to turn back. He leaves Eli and chooses to return for his sister. After a long journey, Nell finally returns home. As soon as Eva sees him, she immediately hugs him emotionally. That moment makes them realize that, in a world that has changed like this, they only have each other. Time keeps passing. Month after month goes by without electricity. Their lives fully depend on nature. They look for food in the forest, use wood to survive the cold, and slowly get used to living without technology.
Births around.
One night, they agree to use a little of their remaining fuel to power the generator. For the first time in a long while, light fills the house again. In an emotional moment, they watch old recordings of memories with their parents. But it doesn't last long, because the power goes out again, and they have to face the darkness once more. The days go back to a simple routine. Nell goes out to look for food, while Eva takes care of the house. One day, a man suddenly shows up. He is the shop owner they had visited before. From the start, Eva already feels that something is off. Her suspicion is proven when the man suddenly attacks her brutally. Eva can't fight back and can only cry in fear. After doing what he did, the man leaves while taking the remaining fuel they have. When Nell comes home, he finds Eva in a very shaken state. Without saying much, he immediately secures the house, closes all access, and prepares for the worst. He realizes their situation is now much more dangerous. Since that incident, Eva changes drastically. She becomes more withdrawn, has difficulty interacting, and even feels afraid of being touched. The trauma she experiences is very deep. Nell tries to help in various ways. He even secretly turns on the generator to give a bit of comfort. But it's still not enough to bring Eva back to how she used to be. Time keeps going. Their food supplies are running low, and nothing shows signs of getting better. Eva even starts to be afraid to go outside, as if the outside world is a constant threat.
What?
Until one night, all the emotions Eva has been holding in finally come out. She cries, releasing the pain and fear she has been keeping to herself. After that, she slowly begins to feel a little relieved. The next day, Eva tries to eat again, which makes Nell feel a bit relieved. But not long after, she starts to feel unusual nausea. She rushes to the bathroom, and that's when the reality begins to show Eva is pregnant. In the middle of a chaotic world, Eva makes a big decision. She chooses to keep the pregnancy and is determined to raise the child.
Well,
As time goes by, Eva's belly gets bigger, and she starts to accept the reality of the life she has to live. But a new problem appears. The house that has been their shelter starts to fall apart. The constant rain makes the wooden structure weaker, and parts of the roof begin to collapse, little by little. Now they not only have to survive, but also face the possibility of losing the only place that has been protecting them. In the middle of an increasingly uncertain situation, Eva starts to feel stronger pain. The contractions keep coming, showing that the delivery can no longer be delayed. Meanwhile, their house is almost collapsing, making it no longer safe. In that situation, Nell immediately makes a decision. He takes Eva to a treehouse in the middle of the forest, the only place they can still use for shelter. In the middle of heavy rain and strong winds, Nell tries to help Eva give birth. That night feels very tense. Eva has to endure intense pain, but she keeps holding on. Finally, the sound of a baby crying is heard in the silence of the night. Eva can't hold back her tears. In a world that has changed, the birth of the child becomes one thing that still gives hope. Feel heavy. The house is badly damaged and can no longer be lived in. The roof is almost collapsing, and the place that was once full of memories has now become dangerous. With a difficult decision, they choose to burn the house. For Eva, it's a step that has to be taken. Besides the house no longer being livable, she also wants to erase any trace so they can stay safe. Eva is still haunted by fear that the man who hurt her might come back. After gathering important belongings, Nell lights the fire. They can only stand and watch as the house slowly burns. Along with it, the memories of their family, of their father, mother, and the warm past they once had seem to fade away. After the storm calms down, they return to the house. But what they see makes their hearts feel heavy. The house is badly damaged and can no longer be lived in. The roof is almost collapsing, and the place that was once full of memories has now become dangerous. With a difficult decision, they choose to burn the house. For Eva, it's a step that has to be taken. Besides the house no longer being livable, she also wants to erase any trace so they can stay safe. Eva is still haunted by fear that the man who hurt her might come back. After gathering important belongings, Nell lights the fire. They can only stand and watch as the house slowly burns. Along with it, the memories of their family, of their father, mother, and the warm past they once had seem to fade away.